This was a very long and difficult battle. They gave me 6 months to live at first, so I will try to tell my story in full. Here we go. In August 2019, I was diagnosed with late-stage intrahepatic cholangiocarcinoma. Due to the rapid progression of nodules in my liver, a massive chunk was removed, it's the only human organ that can regenerate, to try to stop the spread. After numerous complications, several blood transfusions, a skin graft, and flatlining a couple of times, I was finally healthy enough to come home in February 2020. My oncologist was optimistic post-hospital, so I wasn't put on any type of treatments. We were hoping the cancer was fully removed. It didn't take long for more bad news. About 3 months after coming home from the hospital, in May 2020, several nodules were found in my lung after a CT scan. The cancer had metastasized. I was crushed. After such a horrible stay at the hospital and reassurances from experts, I thought I was done. This time, the only choice I had was chemotherapy. So I started a soul-draining regimen of chemo in early June 2020. Even though I had to endure several rounds of chemo, I had high hopes that it was working. The nodules in my lungs were growing, but not at an advanced rate, and my hair didn't fall out like the nurses told me it would. I was in somewhat good spirits. Granted, I was getting really sick and very weak after every session. Almost 7 months since starting chemo, in December 2020, I began having terrible headaches. I didn't think much of it, as I thought it was just more side effects of the chemo. Then I started feeling dizzy, and I eventually lost my equilibrium and couldn't gain my balance to walk. I informed my oncology team about this, and I was given a brain MRI. It turns out a ping-pong-sized tumor had been growing rapidly at the base of my skull. I felt so defeated. The chemo didn't work at all. Why was this happening to me? My only option this time was to have emergency surgery to remove this tumor from my head. Here we go again. It was Christmas 2020, and the tumor was removed successfully, but not fully. The risk of getting the whole tumor in one shot was great, so I would have to undergo 5 rounds of radiation to get rid of the rest. I stayed in the hospital for a couple of weeks and came home in January 2021 to prepare for radiation. Radiation was 3 times a week for 5 weeks. During this time, my oncology team looked for other options for treatment. They tested me for specific types of mutations in the cancer and found out I had something called an MSI-high biomarker. It turns out this type of biomarker responds well to immunotherapy, according to studies on other types of cancer. So they came up with a plan to start me on immunotherapy as soon as I finished radiation. In February 2021, radiation was finished and the tumor in my head was completely gone, but I still had nodules that were found in my lungs when I initially metastasized. I was put on the immunotherapy drugs nivolumab and ipilimumab simultaneously. The plan was to start me on both these drugs for 4 rounds and then only nivolumab continually after. This immunotherapy is not like chemo and doesn't make me deathly sick. I was told that these drugs don't fight the cancer. They work in conjunction with my immune system to fight the cancer instead. It's July 2021, and the first 4 rounds of both immunotherapy drugs are done, and now I continue bi-weekly treatments of only nivolumab. I start seeing results as early as December 2021. The nodules are stable, and there is no progression. Fast forward to March 2022, and the cancer is shrinking. The shrinking continued as I was still on nivolumab, but I began monthly treatments instead. On February 22, 2023, I went to my monthly appointment treatment. But this time it wasn't just my regular oncologist. It was the head oncologist, and he wanted to tell me the results from the latest scans, which showed no sign of cancer. I broke down immediately at the news as I was overjoyed to be cancer-free. He told me I was a miracle patient and that he wanted to meet me personally to share the news. He also told me he wanted to meet me because I was the first patient the team had come across with the MSI biomarker, and that it was very rare. I couldn't have been happier that day. Here I am now, almost 4 years into my cancer journey and thriving. I am still on the monthly treatments of nivolumab and will probably be so indefinitely. It took a lot to get where I am today, and I am so thankful for my oncology team here at UMass in Worcester, MA. Never give up hope, And make sure you consider all of your options if you ever get diagnosed. If you've made it this far, thank you for reading my story.